Before becoming the latest in a long line of promising drill rappers to emerge from New York City, Nazir Valenzuela, also known as NAS EBK, was born on July 1st, 2003 in the Bronx, where he grew up around 158th and 3rd Avenue.
Yeah, that's where I'm from the Trade Block, feel me? But that's right there by like Colin. I don't really, feel me, be over there no more. But yeah, right now I just be on the Sev.
Nas began his life as an aspiring basketball player, and in his teenage years, he played for the Eagle Academy School in New York, winning a championship in his freshman year. After that first season, he was recruited by a prep school out in Pennsylvania, which would force him to reclassify as a freshman yet again. Unfortunately, only a few months into this new environment, Nas would find himself in a physical altercation with another student, leading to his expulsion from the school and the eventual dissolution of his dream of becoming a professional basketball player. See? One fight and then hoop dreams are finished. It's crazy. All things considered, it was a pretty tragic turn of events because Nas had enough talent to attend a Division I school. Instead, the street life would come calling around age 15, throwing his whole life into chaos and turmoil for the next few years.
To be honest, I was a good kid, bro.
Yeah.
My mother, I was a ball player. I was supposed to go D1. I was
shit,
supposed to do all of that, bro. I was a good kid.
The streets are a vicious cycle that Nas would come close to succumbing to, after getting arrested not just once, but twice. One of the occasions took place only 17 days before his 18th birthday, but got released after posting a $100,000 bail. During this period of his life, you could find Nas hanging around the Cortlandt projects in the Bronx, but he'd eventually migrate away from that area and post up in the block known as Sevside, after getting betrayed and robbed by friends from his former hood.
Controversy, all that extra shit happened, and then, for me, KK seen what's up with my situation or whatever, and for me, like, it's not gonna jack a nigga, they don't do what they do, but regardless, by that time, I already did what I did.
That's where and when he would meet fellow rapper K Flock, someone who would come to play a huge part in his musical success. In the years before he started making music, Nas used his reputation around the hood to build a massive following on social media, and to hear him tell it, he says he already had around 10,000 followers on Instagram well before he ever created his first song. That's what we call platinum in the streets. But once he started hanging around aspiring musicians, Nas recognized something in his own life had to change. He let his more troubling habits fall off and began focusing his efforts on utilizing his social media presence to kickstart a rap career. And while he had absolutely no idea what to expect from this experiment, the last thing he ever imagined would happen would be finding the immediate success that he did. After finally deciding to leave his former ways behind, Nas would transform into NAS EBK, with the EBK standing for Everybody Killer, and channel this madcap energy into something of a more creative outlet, bringing to life the underground YouTube hit Bunny in the Box in June of 2021. At the time he recorded that track, his buddies had just finished up a recording session of their own, and everyone was chilling around in the studio, smoking and getting high. That's when Nas finally decided to shoot his shot after months of refusing to do so despite his friends' insistence. That night he stepped into the booth and he drained it in one attempt.
I don't know, one day I was just in the stool. I was with Suddy and Jail Bands. Okay. And from we was just in there, and I'm like, you know what, let me just try this. Just getting high and shit, everybody falling asleep.
Once that single racked up about 100,000 views in just 1 week, Nas realized that he had made the right decision. Not only that, but his close friend K Flock would take on the role of becoming his manager, looking to guide him towards new heights. Damn, K Flock was a manager too? From there, Nas would go on to drop further singles like OYK with Set the Trend, as well as solo hits like Rah Rah, Top 5, and Risk Taker, all within the span of only 6 or 7 months. I mean, the dude was prolific to say the least. Now, in terms of his process, Nas says that he's not one to write his own lyrics down before stepping in the booth. Instead, he simply likes to roll himself a joint and then freestyle off the dome, kinda something that Jay-Z and Lil Wayne coined. Now he's sitting back and letting the label and record deals pour in, taking his time with the process to make sure he gets exactly what he wants. He's already turned down offers that have hit as high as $700,000, but Nas recognizes that he can't just sign for the sake of a high number, because that's how you end up losing your rights to everything. It's all about finding the right partnership and balance, and that's what he's holding out for. There was also one point where Nas had turned 18 and was flown out to Chicago by none other than Lil TJ, who had intentions of signing him to his own label, although things apparently did not go as planned. As successful as his still developing musical career has become, NAS EBK has already started to deal with a series of controversies, more than most artists double his own age in fact. Not only does he have hard feelings for former associates like Shy EK and PJ Glizzy, but one of the biggest beefs is the back and forth that he got into with fellow New York rapper Nas Blicky. After Blicky was allegedly shot in the head, Nas EBK would hop on the Instagram to laugh about the man's precarious predicament, saying things like, "Just give up, stop fighting. Matter of fact, somebody tell me what hospital he in. I'ma go and unplug that right now." Eventually, it would be revealed that the reports on the attack were only half true. I mean, yes, Blicky had been shot, but he sustained 3 wounds in the back and the leg, just not the head. As for what EBK had to say about what happened, Blicky would respond by implying that he doesn't know EBK from a hole in the wall, while promising that if they were ever to meet face to face, there would be repercussions.
You see that nigga, I bet you he'll run for his life. Slap the shit out of him. Trust me, no weapon, just beat the shit out of this nigga.
I don't know about these drill kids, man. They're like 10 years younger than me, and I don't even really want smoke with them, man. These kids are taking it too far these days. And you know, not that EBK is the kind to ever sweat a little bit of trash talk. I mean, after all, the man basically made a living off of it. Plus, there's just too many other good things going on in his life right now for him to sweat the little things. Like, say, getting gifted a custom-made glittering watch by New York designer Oscar Stone from his very successful girlfriend and singer Jada Kingdom. The timepiece is believed to be worth somewhere in the vicinity of $20,000, leading Nas to respond to his boo with a heartfelt post on Instagram promising to make her life his permanent one. These two met behind the scenes during an interview with The Talk of Town involving Dougie B and Asian Doll, and immediately hit it off. And while they haven't dropped yet, Nas promises that these two will be releasing a few collaborative singles, some of which are going to be pure fire. It's almost like the drill Beyonce and Jay-Z. In fact, Nas can even see himself stretching his vocal muscles a little bit by singing in a few up-and-coming releases to shake things up and kick off a more melodic phase to his career, as opposed to staying focused on straight-up drill. So will his relationship with Jada Kingdom stand the test of time like Nas EBK promises it will? And when exactly will we get a Nas debut album? Even a mixtape for that matter? I mean, these are all questions that require answers, but with this young former baller only being a little more than a year into his career, we're gonna have to wait a little bit longer to find out exactly what happens. I mean, after all, this is before they were famous. Thank you everybody for watching today's episode. Please be sure to leave some thoughts on Nas EBK's rise to the top of the Bronx drill scene in the comment section down below. And after you're finished with that, like, subscribe, turn on your notifications to make sure you never miss another episode. And if you'd like to check out a few other episodes along a similar vein, then be sure to check out our looks into the come-ups of rappers like Didi Osama, Sugar Hill Keem, and Dream Doll. My name is Clyde Smith, and I'll see you guys in another video. This is why you can't get gang members to host. Everybody throwing up, like, you know, gang signs and shit at the end of their videos. See? Be grateful I don't do that, Michael. Better blur out those gang signs.